14 withdrawn. So Elliot Colburn.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And I want to take this opportunity to recognise some of the work being done in my own constituency of Carshalton and Wallington, but also to highlight some of the challenges that these various sectors continue to face as we deal with the pandemic. To start off with the health and social care sector, as a former NHS worker, I know how dedicated the health and social care staff in the United Kingdom are. St Helier Hospital, which is in my constituency, was one of the first hospitals to have to deal with a case of coronavirus, and sadly also had one of the first confirmed deaths from this virus, which has taken far too many of our loved ones from us too soon. But their incredible efforts in caring for patients, consoling the grieving families and looking out for the mental health of their staff, not to mention keeping other hospital services going, is to be applauded. They're being supported by our fantastic teams who are working on our local care homes. And I want to put on record my thanks to providers such as Churchill and MHA who have been engaging constructively with me throughout the pandemic. I wanted to pick up on the vital role that the care sector does play, and I think the pandemic has shone a light only too clearly on the challenges that the sector faces. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing the proposals coming forward from government about how we can have a long-term plan and sustainable plan to deal with social care. But when we talk about the health response to the pandemic, I also want to make sure that we don't overlook the fantastic work of our local community pharmacists as well. I was privileged to have a call with some of our pharmacists just earlier in the week. They've told me how extremely busy they've been and how they've had to work exceptionally long hours to catch up on dispensing after seeing hundreds more patients in need of advice on minor ailments. And I believe that pharmacists can play an even more vital role in the future by making better use of advisory capacity, ability to deliver vaccines, taking pressure off GPs and using their community links to improve the health of our local area. So I hope that the Minister might have some words at the end about the recently published Ernst & Young report into pharmacy funding and in how we can go further to support community pharmacists going forwards. However, the coronavirus response hasn't just been about the health and social care sector. It has brought out the best of the entire community in Carshalton and Wallington, and I particularly want to pay tribute to the voluntary sector through the actions of Community Action Sutton, Volunteer Centre Sutton and Age UK Sutton, who have harnessed the goodwill and the power of hundreds of volunteers. And I've met some truly inspirational people as I've been out to join them in delivering PPE. And I want to thank them for everything that they have done to keep the community going and look after others during this pandemic. I launched a Unsung Hero scheme, as many of my colleagues I noted as well, to recognise some of the unsung heroes who have gone above and beyond to help others during this pandemic. And I wish I could just stand here and list the hundreds and hundreds of amazing stories I heard. People like Conall Donovan and the team at the Duke's Head pub who have used their kitchens to cook for elderly people. Sue Robertson, the housing manager at Laurel Lodge Retirement Home. Carshalton High School for Girls, who created over 200 items of PPE for the local hospital, and so much more. There's just so many examples I could draw from. Residents have worked hard to keep the virus down and understandably are quite concerned about being moved into Tier 2 restrictions. But I'm encouraged at 4 further testing facilities that will be opening up in the borough. And I'm also pleased to hear the Chancellor today announce further financial support packages for Tier 2 areas like Carshalton and Wallington. It's been an incredibly tough time for businesses and particularly for the self-employed as well. So I'm grateful that the Chancellor has heard those calls and has taken appropriate action today. As we continue to fight this virus, we do need to find the balance between protecting the economy and protecting health. And I'm hopeful that as we continue to tackle this virus over the coming weeks and months, we can strike that balance and come through this together.